When I think and, mean being genuine with someone, I like to try and be just super intentional with all of my interactions I have with people. Whether, like I said, it's giving a compliment or asking how someone's doing. Like, I won't say it if I don't mean it, and I genuinely don't want to hear what the other person has to say. Like nowadays, whenever someone says, "Hi, how are you?" like you're ordering food or whatever, your NPC response or the other person's NPC response is, "Good, how are you?" Without even thinking. You don't even acknowledge whatever they said. You just know that's going to be the next response. Like I said, when you go out and you order food, or you go to the movies, or maybe you're traveling and you're on a flight at the airport or whatever, and they say, whatever it is, enjoy the meal, have a safe flight. You go, "Thanks, you too." Like, I know I'm guilty of that. Raise your hand. It's the worst. But, like, it's been built into our DNA to give that NPC response. And I'm the first to admit I'm working on it. I'm trying to do better. And I think going along the lines of being, like, a genuine person, like, it means being consistent, that same type of person all day, every day, all year long. So for work right now, this time of year, we do a thing called Adopt a Family. And if you don't know what that is, basically, there are applications that families can fill out if they're going through like a hard time and don't have the means or needs to be able to provide just basic necessities for themselves, like socks, toothbrush, meals for everyone, And this is something that I've been a part of for quite a few years now, and I look forward to it. I enjoy it. And so this year when I got to meet some of the families that we're trying to help out and hear their stories, it made me really excited to work hard and try to help raise money for them. And the way it works is, at least for like the company that we're doing it with, the way it works, it's strictly off of donations from the employees, just the goodness out of our heart and our wallet. Like, we're not fundraising outside the building, on the streets, a GoFundMe. It's just based on the company and the employees' generosity. And so when we were telling the whole team about what we're doing and explaining how it works, everybody was kind of like, "Wait, what do you mean? Like, the only way we get to give them all this stuff is if we have to donate?" And not everyone wasn't like disgusted, but like immediately very unenthusiastic by this idea. Like, their faces showed it, and it bummed me out because I try really hard to be just generous all year long and not just wait for, "Oh, now it's the holidays." And back when I was in college, I pretty much paid all my bills from working as a waiter in a restaurant. And yeah, it was like a more high-end restaurant, so the tips were pretty good. And during the holiday season, companies and businesses would do large holiday parties and banquets, and the tips were good. They were even better, right? But I had to work my butt off for them because these parties and dinners meant a lot to the employees. And I wasn't doing it because I was like, "Ooh, I know at the end of the night the tips are going to be good and I'll be able to pay my rent or whatever, Like, yes, I need the tips and the money to survive. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to do my job right and give the people what they want rather than caring about my paycheck at the end of the day. And I know not a lot of people think that way, so just sit on that for a sec. And just sticking with the tipping and restaurant analogy, whenever I go outside to eat where I got the option to tip, I take care of them. I've been on that side of the world. I know how hard it can be and how hard the days are if the tips are bad or you have awful guests. It sucks. So I just, you can argue tips are to ensure proper service. But again, like, they all deserve to be appreciated. They're doing their best, You never know what they got going on. So I just encourage you, maybe next time you're thinking twice about skipping or tipping. When you go to get coffee, go out to eat, get your car washed, get your hair done, your nail tech, whatever it is, right? Show them some love. And back when I was at like my soul-sucking corporate job that made me hate my life, I would always talk to my hairdresser lady, my barber that would cut my hair, about work, and she's just the sweetest lady. Like, she always just made me feel better, and I'd see her once a month when I get my hair cut, And back then, I was lucky enough to be in a financial position to where I could be generous with like my tipping and showing me appreciation. Because yeah, she does a good job helping me look my best and keep me fresh. But I just really appreciated her time making me feel better, whether she realized it or not, And I remember one day right before I quit my job, she told me about how her boyfriend accidentally threw out like an old bag, or at least he thought it was an old bag, but actually had all of her barber like hair cutting stuff in it because she was like doing a lot of traveling and clients out of town. So last minute she had to get all brand new stuff, drop a whole bunch of money. That stuff's not cheap. I don't know how much it is because that's not my profession, but she was telling me it's not cheap. And I know it's not the same when you don't have like your usual stuff, your equipment, your acts. It's not the same when you gotta show up and do your job. So I felt bad, and she showed me so much kindness when I was at my miserable job. I just tried to pay it forward with my tipping, and it made me feel so good. And it was awesome because I didn't have to wait for the holidays to be able to give back. I just genuinely believe in repaying kindness with kindness. A couple months ago, the same barber lady that cuts my hair, she was telling me one of her daughters got diagnosed with leukemia, and it just broke my heart because she said she was like 10 or something like that, you know, and she just opened up her own salon, her own shop, right? Her work schedule was awful because of it, and then dealing with this on top of it, it made me feel so bad. She was just doing everything she could, you know. So every time I see her, yeah, I might not be able to swing the nice tip every now and then, but I still do just for her, and I'll figure the rest out, you know. I'm not trying to brag about how I'm, you know, Mr. Moneybags with the tips or I'm loaded or whatever, but I would rather tip someone a little extra, sometimes maybe even when I can't, just to show my appreciation, rather than buy myself something nice or, you know, a little treat or whatever, you know. My whole point of this story is that being genuine shouldn't require an excuse of someone telling you to do something or waiting for a moment, a certain time of year, a certain place. It should just be like an organic habit or a feeling that makes you just urge you to want to do something. So again, I think being genuine is all about having intentional interactions. Like, don't ask someone how they're doing if you really don't care what they're gonna say, because sometimes people aren't okay. And I would much rather someone tell me that they're not okay when I ask, because you bet I'm gonna want to know what's going on. Like, if someone maybe ever asked you how you are and maybe you weren't feeling the best that day and you wanted to say like, oh, you know, today I'm actually not very good, or I just got a lot of stuff going on. But you probably knew they didn't want to hear that. They already had that NPC response ready. So you just say you're good. And I remember back in high school, I had a couple of rough years, and I had a teacher one day ask me, you know, like, Shurzin, how you doing today, man? And I smiled and said, good, just a little tired, you know. And he told me, it's okay, man. I can tell you're not doing the best today, and it's cool. I know you got a free period later, you know, just come by my office. We can chat about what's on your mind or talk about the game from last night. And it just completely caught me off guard. Like, I wasn't expecting someone to want to have that genuine interaction and care so much. Like, anytime I ask someone, whether I'm walking past them or I'm at work, like, I mean it when I ask someone how they're doing. I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and I want to do anything I can to try to turn their day around. And the reason I mentioned this story at all, even though it was like 7 years ago, I still remember it like it was yesterday. And I will never forget this teacher and this day, you know? Just moments like that are so impactful, whether you realize it or not. What someone else does for you, what you do for someone else. They might not even know it, but they'll never forget it, and you just won't even know. So I hope this video might inspire you to be a little bit more genuine and intentional with your daily interactions, and just think twice what it might mean to someone when you ask how they're doing. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here and listen to what I have to say. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything you're doing. And yeah, I hope you have a great day.